and welcome to Rosewater. This is a point-and-click action-adventure game. If you've just come off the back of Dreams in a Witch's House, you know that I basically crashed and burnt in that game. And I wanted to play something else that wasn't so complex, but was still... I want to get back into playing point-and-click adventure games. I really enjoy those kind of games, but I haven't played any for a long time, partly because I sort of have a very sort of particular preference for what kind of point-and-click I play. But to be honest, I've been really looking forward to Rosewater, and I've wanted to play it for a long time. And it's just been released, and I did a Cornish first look of this game when it came out, and now I'm going to do a series for it because I think it's well worth the investment of my time. Also, it will give me a little bit of time to sort of clear my head over Dreams in a Witch's House because I became particularly salty with that game. And I want to basically clear my head, play something that's challenging but fair, and then go back to that game with a clear mind. So let's dive in. So we're going to do a new game. From what I've been able to tell, is this
Board
game...
the 743 from Pierre-Lorraine for Rosewater, Western Vespuccia. No baggage to speak of, in the literal or metaphorical sense. Just a little hope. And that doesn't take up much space. Much has been said about the western frontier. The perilous wilderness, the lawless towns, and the tough, hardened folk who make their way out there. Usually to get away from something worse. I suppose I'm about to become one of them myself. There's just one thing Rosewater's got that no place else has. An opportunity with my name on it.
do like the Western frontier theme of this game.
The thoughts in my head are running together like the landscape outside the window. Excitement and trepidation and boredom mixing like the scrub and rocks and soil into one long blur. One thing I know, I am ready for a change of scene.
Western Vespuccia, the town of Rosewater. 1850.
Huh. Quiet.
Now, as much as I can tell about this game, it's set in it's like similar past, not exact. And you will see what I mean. Like, I think West Vespuccia is not even a real place, if I'm being honest. I don't know. My understanding of Western frontier towns in the 1850s America is not fantastic. So I don't know if it's a real place or someone they've made up, but we'll see.
Howdy, ma'am. Allow me to extend the warmest of welcomes on behalf of the town of Rosewater and its inhabitants. Folks call me Jim, and who do I have the honor of greeting?
Harley Leger.
Delighted to make your acquaintance. Might I assist you with your luggage? That is, if you've got any.
I don't.
Ah, right. Well, what brings you to our fair town, Mrs. Leger?
Here for a job, a lie, I'm just passing through. That's none of your business. So let's see, like... how are we gonna be... Like, let's take it. What kind of person do we want to be? I'm here for a job, being honest, we're gonna lie, we're just passing through. That's none of your business. Let's be honest.
Miss. And I'm here about a job.
Planning on sticking around, huh? Say, what line of work are you in?
If you must know, I'm a... Well, I write. There's an opening at the Rosewater Post.
Well, best of luck with that. The editor at that place ain't somebody you want to cross.
Then we ought to get along fine.
I'm sure you will. But as official town greeter, allow me to offer a small caution. Rosewater ain't always such a sleepy little town.
Hey!
Say, I've just remembered another engagement.
This how you welcome new arrivals? I have a mind to give you a thrashing. All right, enough of that. Look, I was no choir girl.
But I was never quite so dumb. Yeah, that's probably the honest answer.
But I at least had some brains. Word of advice, kid. Don't pick your mark in broad daylight, especially not at a lawman's doorstep. Go on, beat it. Or I really will give you something to cry about. Now, where in the ether is that damn publisher's office?
Okay. Yeah. Walk interactions, double click, right click, press I, menu, yeah. So objects, hold O, middle mouse button. Okay. So if we hold O, highlight stuff in the pause of the game. Inventory's I, so we've got a letter.
October 25th, 1850. Dear Miss Leger, thank you for submitting your sample. Your writing shows real potential. I'd like to extend an invitation to meet with me at the offices of the Rosewater Post and discuss the possibility of an extended commission. How soon can you arrive in town? I await your reply and look forward to making your acquaintance. Yours, Joan Gallagher.
Okay. That's that. Let's see what settings has. Accessibility, blah, blah. How to play. Inventory or D is diary. So I take it. Warded lock, no key for me. Turn the hook freely. Padlock, wiggle the key to start the fun, then turn the snake for a long run. Deadbolt, tense the key and choose the snake. Look round as you give it a shake. Tumble locks, the key stays still. The diamond shines, turn up just once, then down 3 times. Okay. Boarded, some of Luen, no bag to speak of. It's basically just the retelling of the opening. Right here. So it's basically a blow by blow.
End of the line. Until they connect it up from the coast, anyway.
So nothing in here. Okay. So we've got the sheriff's office.
So they do have the law here. In theory, at least.
Let's just go and have a chat with the sheriff.
Howdy, stranger. Fresh off the train?
Yes, sir.
Come on in then. Let's have a chat. I'm Sheriff Gamble.
Harley Leger.
Pleasure. Just passing through, or...?
I'm here about a job.
Well now, that's refreshing. Few come to Rosewater these days with the intent of staying long. How are you finding our town?
The welcoming committee leaves a lot to be desired, yeah.
I can't say much for the welcoming committee.
Beg pardon?
I wasn't in your town but 2 minutes when I was accosted by a pair of gutter snipes. They should thank their lucky stars I was in a good mood.
I keep telling Jim to stop with that town greeter malarkey, but that boy's got a head harder than granite. I've been too soft. I ought to throw him in lockup until he gets his head on straight.
Trust me, that'll only make things worse. Besides, I don't think they've yet written a statute outlawing vexatiousness.
You've a forgiving nature, Miss Leger. Anyhow, welcome to Rosewater. If you run into any more trouble, come and see me.
Let's have a look at it.
Looks like a pretty rough sort. This fellow still at large?
Yep, but I reckon he's left the province.
Reminder, confiscated items to be placed in the box below. A plain leather bag. Wonder what's inside. What's in the bag?
Oh, that's a set of lockpicks I confiscated from a would-be burglar.
A lawman with a license? Guess Rosewater isn't so uncivilized after all. Does this license mean you went to sheriff's school?
No, it means I was officially elected to the position by the people of this town. The paper is really just a formality.
Okay.
Those are some stern-looking ladies. Not a bad view. What a peculiar decoration. Hey, Sheriff?
What's on your mind?
Why have you got a horseshoe hanging above the door?
Ah, glad you asked. My grandpappy told me a story about a blacksmith who was visited by the devil. The devil asked the smith to make him a
Let's try and
horseshoe
take it.
for his own.
He'll notice they're missing.
So, the blacksmith took a red-hot horseshoe and
A bag of luck.
the devil howled out in pain. He begged the blacksmith to take it off again. The smith agreed, but on one condition. The devil must always respect the horseshoe and never enter any place where one is hung above the door. Hell of a story, wouldn't you say?
Okay, so that gives us an ability, I think, to probably swipe keys or swipe the lockpick.
Impressive collection. Hey, Sheriff?
Yes, ma'am?
What's the story with these guns?
Now these are standard issue repeaters, pretty powerful rifles. Thankfully, I've yet to use one in the line of duty. Wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of one of these.
Okay.
I wouldn't have figured the sheriff for a naturalist. Fancy yourself a lepidopterist?
Ha! Hardly. Picked that display up from a passing rag and bone man. But I like when the sun shines on their wings just so. Real thing of beauty.
Okay. Like, if you're expecting fast gameplay out of this, guys, this is a point-and-click adventure game. It is nice and slow paced, which is a nice change of pace for me, to be honest. Okay.
Looks sturdy, but there's some rot creeping around the handles. Can't be a good sign when even the blacksmith goes out of business. No shoes for you, horsies. Soft drink crates. A sugary, fizzy way to beat the heat. Nothing inside but a colony of ants. Shame.
Gone with the sarsaparilla.
I hope that isn't the town water supply. The local sawbones. This is where all the sharp knives and strong drugs will be kept.
Oh, hello there. Don't think I've seen you around before.
Just arrived in town. Name's Harley Leger. And you're Dr. Sedgwick?
At your service. Welcome to Rosewater and to my clinic. Anything in particular ailing you today?
I've got this blister on my foot.
Now that you mention it, I've got this blister on my right foot that's got me in a huff.
I can take care of that for you. Step over to the chair and I'll cut it off in a jiff. They do tend to be gushers, though, so it might be a while before you're up and about again.
On second thought, I'll just deal with it.
Oh, the frontier life has its fair share of discomforts, to be sure. They do say that suffering is good for the soul.
For the soul? Is that a pun, Doctor?
Huh? Oh, I see. For the soul. Ha ha ha. Most humorous.
Let's have a look around. What can we interact with? Okay.
That's impressively clean.
Cleanliness is next to godliness, as they say. And good health starts with good hygiene.
Have you actually read all these books, Doc?
I have. They also serve for reference. Learning is a lifelong endeavor.
Quite a variety of potions and tonics you've got here, Doc.
It's only a small part of the bounteous pharmacopoeia that nature might make available to us.
1 second, folks.
If only we knew her secrets. There is so much to be discovered.
Medical College of Wicks? Never heard of it.
It's in central Rotterdam. Not quite the University of New Bretagne, but then what is?
Yeah, so this is what I was talking about. Like, I think this is sort of like in Uncanny Valley kind of situation where it's somewhere in the past something has diverged and history is altered slightly.
I imagine you get your hands pretty dirty in this line of work?
It's for cleansing before, not after. I am a follower of the modern European theories, positing that disease follows from the propagation of tiny animalcules living on the surface of the skin. Thorough washing with soap and water is said to eradicate them.
Drown the little bastards, huh?
Something like that.
Well, that's just disgusting.
Not disgusting, it's fascinating, awe-inspiring.
To each his own. What's in the pouch?
Oh, just some supplies for house calls and emergencies. Please, don't touch that, Miss Leger.
Hey, Doc, is that mess of noodles really what our insides look like?
Indeed, Miss Leger. The human body truly is a marvel.
I suppose that's one word for it. Hey, Doc.
Miss Leger.
How's business?
So, how's the medicine business?
What a question. I'm a physician, Miss Leger, not some two-bit snake oil salesman.
Didn't mean to imply you were.
I'm sure. At any rate, I've not had many patients of late. But that is the physician's dilemma, is it not? We are taught that idleness is a sin. But better that I am idle and the townsfolk healthy than my surgery be full of the ill and infirm.
Got any knowledge to impart about Rosewater?
Oh, well, it's a fine town.
You don't sound too enthused.
I'm sure you'll find plenty to see and do here.
Give it to me straight, Doc. I want to know your thoughts on this place, warts and all.
Were Rosewater one of my patients, I would say the prognosis is not good. Not since all the Aurum claims dried up and the airship routes opened, leapfrogging over our rail line. The hangers-on keep this place gasping for breath, but I fear they only prolong the inevitable. I hope I haven't discouraged you, but you did ask my opinion.
If things are so bad, why not pick up and move elsewhere?
I swore an oath to do no harm, Miss Leger. As the town's only physician, leaving would mean abandoning my patients. There may not be many left to call on my services, but when they do, I am the only barrier standing between them and the grave.
Isn't that a bit dramatic, Doc?
Say what you will. I know where I stand on the matter.
Why not train somebody to take over for you?
I did have an apprentice not long ago, my ward, Nadine.
What happened to her?
Oh, this is no kind of life for a restless young person. I encouraged her to put her talents to use elsewhere. She's ministering to the local native tribe now.
Who is this tribe?
I'm afraid I don't know much about them, just that they have a small village somewhere in the valley. I believe they call themselves the Audam? Autumn? I'm not certain of the pronunciation. At any rate, they don't come to the town, and I imagine the townsfolk mostly let them be as well.
You must know all about the townsfolk.
I am well acquainted with all their ailments, proclivities, and vices. But if you're just seeking gossip, you'll have to find it elsewhere.
I'll see you later, Doc.
Do take care of yourself.
Okay, so I forgot to actually ask the Seraph any meaningful questions. So we should probably speed walk and go and talk to him.
Welcome back, Miss Leger.
Like I said, this is going to be a pretty slow-paced game for people who want more fast-paced action.
Hey, Sheriff?
What can I do you for?
Just how long have you been the sheriff here anyway?
Oh, a couple years now. Like most everyone else, I came to Rosewater in '48 when we thought the hills were full of Aurum. Except I stayed when it turned out they weren't.
You were a prospector?
Yep, but it turns out lawman was a more stable career.
A man in your position must have plenty to say about the town he serves.
Suppose that's true. But a stroll down Main will tell you most everything you need to know.
Is Doc Sedgwick on the up and up, or is he one of those frontier quacks?
Oh no, Doc Sedgwick's tried and true. Well, he saved the town from a yellow fever epidemic just last year. The Doc's pretty much the glue holding this town together. Leastways, that's what he's fond of telling everybody.
Anything of interest in the surrounding area?
Not really. The San Bernardino Valley don't offer much in the way of sightseeing. There's an army fort, Fort Beaumont, and an abandoned relic that used to be a laboratory. There's also an Indian village on the other side of the valley, but you'll want to steer clear. I've heard tell they can be real territorial. But all that's outside my jurisdiction. When you leave my town, you're taking your chances out there.
Thanks for the chat, Sheriff.
Come back anytime.
I do like the atmosphere of this game. No, Rosewater Post Office and Publishing.
Hey, what gives? 2 feet over and I'd be flatter than piss on a plate.
Go get the doctor, go get the sheriff. If the guy's been flung out of a window, he probably is up to no good, so let's go and get the sheriff.
Easy there. I'm going to fetch the sheriff. Hey, Sheriff Gamble.
Hello again, Miss Leger. Everything all right?
No, it is not. There's a man who needs help outside the Rosewater post.
Lead on, then.
Here he is, poor bastard.
I'll be needing to have some words with Joni. We need the dock. You wait here.
Oh, dear. Hello? Can you hear me? I'm Dr. Sedgwick. I'm here to help you. Can you move your legs? Spine seems intact. No obvious fractures of the arms or legs. That, I would say, is nothing short of a miracle. Right. He's in a bad way, but he'll live. I'll get him back to my clinic and patch him up.
You know, the more I look at him, the more he strikes me as familiar. Isn't this the feller been stirring up troubles at the fort?
I couldn't say. I haven't seen him around before.
Tell you what, send him my way when you're done with him. We got this under control, Miss Leger. You can go about your business.
Glad to hear. Gentlemen?
From what I can tell, like this game has a lot of like your choices matter, and it impacts like the outcome of how the game play unfolds. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Hello, can I help you with something?
I'm here about the writing commission.
Ah, yes, you must be Miss Leger. I believe you and Joni exchanged some correspondence on the matter already, yes?
Yep, got the letter right here.
May I see it, please?
Let's show him the letter.
Very good. Oh, one more thing. Joni's not one for formalities. First names will do.
Noted.
Go up those stairs and knock.
Thanks. What's your name?
Henry Dixon, ma'am. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Likewise.
Yeah, so the game auto-saves. You can also manually save the game as well. So let's put in a quick Rosewater Let's Play setting. And just throw one down, just to remind memory. Let's
Excuse me?
Have a quick chat to him.
How can I be of assistance?
What can you tell me about Rosewater?
What's to know about this town?
You picked a fine time to arrive, Miss Leger.
Why's that?
A few years back, you could hardly drive a wagon through the street. It was so full of folk coming and going. I'm sure you've noticed that's no longer the case.
So where did everyone go?
Wherever the Orem actually is would be my guess. There's still some prospectors hanging on, convinced they'll find something everyone else missed. I'm sure they'll all come to their senses eventually.
If they all go, where will that leave you?
Why, getting by, I imagine. Peaceful, quiet life. The railroad still brings some traffic, folks on their way further west or shipping goods back east. Although not as many as before the transcontinental airship line opened up. Easier to sail clear over the country than ride the rails halfway. Suits me fine, though.
See, this is the thing I mean, that they're talking about, like, airships in the 1850s, like intercontinental airship, like, travel, which obviously means technology is more advanced than it was in our 1850s. And this Arkham material, whatever they're talking about, like, that's not something that we have now.
Been working here long, Mr. Dixon?
Oh, about 5 years. I was the first one Joni hired on shortly after launching the paper. Was a farmhand before that. Keeping books is much nicer than tending cow pens, let me tell you.
Anything I should know about the townsfolk?
Can't really help you there. I'm just a simple family man, and we keep to ourselves.
Exactly who was that gentleman just took a tumble out your second-story window?
I haven't a clue. Devil of a fella. Just busted in here and went straight for Joni's office. He wouldn't be put off, but insisted on speaking with the editor immediately. Said he intended to lodge a complaint. Suppose Joni didn't take too kindly to his manner of lodging.
Those are some mighty fine whiskers you've got.
Oh, why, thank you, Miss Leger. The missus tells me I ought to shave, but I'm fond of the look.
As you should be. I'll leave you to your work.
Appreciate it, ma'am.
Okay, so let's see a few things we can look at.
Cozy. That cabinet's better organized than I'll ever be. They seem to be pretty active around here. I hope that means steady work. Impressive piece of machinery.
Have I missed anything? No, I guess we head upstairs. I do like the atmosphere and feel of this game.
Come in.
Hello, Joan. I'm Harley Leger.
Ah, yes. Nice to finally put a face to the name. Please take a load off. Whiskey?
Bit early for me, but thanks all the same.
Sensible. I like that. I, however, have had a morning, so if you don't mind. Say, have we met before? Something about you seems familiar.
I don't believe so, no.
Well, let's get down to the meat and potatoes, shall we? If you're going to join our little family here, I'd like to know more about you.
Give your life story, provide a succinct biography, avoid the question. Provide a succinct biography. This is a work interview after all, I think.
Me? Well, I was born and raised in New Bretagne, got out, made my way west, and started writing. I saw your ad while I was up in Pierre. Thought a change of scenery would do me good.
Well, admittedly, Rosewater isn't as cosmopolitan as it used to be. But maybe you'll find it to your liking.
There hasn't been a dull moment since I stepped off the train.
Speaking of, your writing sample had me in stitches. Haven't spent much time in Lamplight City myself. But your descriptions of the Toffs in Lyon, hilarious.
That piece was inspired by my last visit a few years ago, actually.
Oh? What brought that about?
Let's say truth. I'd take care of some family affairs.
I had to go back and settle my late brother's affairs.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hope it wasn't in connection with that awful business at the Lamplight City Expo.
Oh, no, it was before that.
The Expo disaster was a national tragedy, of course. But you know, I can't help remembering it as the week our paper sold more copies than it has before or since. Isn't that terrible? But enough about that. Let's get back to why we're here. I loved your sample, and I like you as well, Harley. So I'm going to go ahead and offer you a commission. I'll pay you 45 crowns for it. After that, we can talk about more regular opportunities.
Fantastic. Hot damn, well, I'll be.
Well, I'll be. So, what's my assignment? A scathing commentary on Rosewater's decline? Or maybe a hard-hitting expose on the plight of the marginalized criminal youth?
Oh, no. Nothing like that. I want you to interview Gentleman Jake Ackerman.
Who?
Pull the other one. You've been living under a rock. He's a true Western legend, the Achilles of our times. We've got a real opportunity here. Star like that landing in our little town. I'd like something in the vein of your sample. Acerbic and mordant. But maybe not quite so acerbic.
So, a puff piece.
Good, you're paying attention. I want you to make Rosewater look good too. Show me a real frontier hero in a real frontier town.
Where can I find this Jake fellow?
He's taken rooms at the Jack of Diamonds just down the road. And his show is opening today at the Opera House, so he should be around for an interview. I don't know how you're situated here, but you're welcome to use the typewriter in the office.
I only write longhand, but I'd certainly be grateful for a quiet place to work.
Longhand, how charming. Now, if you have any questions before you go, by all means, ask.
Who was that man you threw out the window?
So, who was the man that went out your window? Not another writer, I hope.
Oh, God, no. You're the only applicant we've had. Don't worry about him. Just a rabble-rouser with an axe to grind. Thought he could burst in here railing about my journalistic integrity. Most folks stick to writing letters to the editor. I tried to calm him down, but... well, it didn't go that way.
I see. The Rosewater Post reported on the Lamplight City Expo?
It was only the biggest story that year. I still got copies of the article saved. Here, read it for yourself.
Disaster at the Light City Expo. Let's do just... I don't read it all out. Global Exposition in New Bretagne. The demonstration of etheric research by Dr. Bennett Clark, device known as Aesthetic Generator, malfunctioned and released a burst of energy into the audience, killing 14 who were vaporized. After that, several screams and horrible burning smell. Nothing left but their shoes. A controversial figure in the scientific community, Dr. Clark, has championed novel theories about the existence of etheric city, a supposed inexhaustible source of energy located in the upper atmosphere. The Etheric Pavilion, an exhibit jointly sponsored by Kissling Industries, Harmon and Grove, and Eastern Consolidated Co., was intended to showcase the technology potential before a global audience. Although public enthusiasm may be somewhat dampened following the event of last week, Dr. Clark was taken in for questioning by the authorities. It remains to be seen if he or any of his sponsors will be held legally responsible for the lives lost in the audience. Gilroy Mindcloser, Silas Gilroy announced the Friday that his Aura Mine will be ceasing operations at the end of the month. This marks the third major mine closure of the past year, in addition to many other prospectives. Small claims to have been consolidated and so cheaply abandoned. Like every other prospector hauled out here, I was hoping to, after early results, they were so strong, but those deeper veins have failed to turn up, says Mr. Gilroy. It's all sparks and no show. That's interesting. So you've had like an event, something has happened, and now people are claiming that there's not the resources. Conspiracy, perhaps, maybe. PM calls for etheric ban. The Prime Minister, Harley Leger, wasted no time in condemning the Lamplight City Expo disaster and calling Parliament to impose a ban on etheric research. Despite opposition from the Artwood Wing MPs may be receptive to the proposed in the week of the disaster, a vote is expected to be called in the coming week. Supporters of Clark's research insist that it was an isolated incident does not invalidate the potential benefits of etheric technology, but public opinion may be tipped in favour of the ban. Okay, so they're trying to publicly outlaw something which is seen as dangerous, but judging that there's consolidation of deposits of it, and people are saying, oh yeah, we can't find anything, suggests it's probably something else afoot.
Can I keep this?
Frame it if you like.
Any insight you can give me about the town?
It's a far cry from what it used to be. In a way, it's nice not having to hear the noise from the saloon at all hours, but... oh, I don't know. Folk who moved on took some of the charm with them.
What about the folks who stayed behind?
What about them?
I was hoping for more details.
Far as you're concerned, the only person in Rosewater worth knowing right now is Jake Ackerman. If you're so keen to know about the rest, go meet him for yourself.
I'm curious, how did the Rosewater Post get its start?
Well, my dad was a union man. He worked the printing press for the Allied Fall Creek Miners Cooperative. Pamphlets, labour news, that sort of thing. Then the mine owners brought the Blackburns in to bust the whole operation up. My dad was laid up for months and could never work again after. But we still had to eat, didn't we? I took all the equipment from the old shop and started printing up an early version of the Post just to bring a little money in. At first, it was all just community notices and advertisements from local stores. Over time, I got the hang of the whole journalism thing and turned it into a real newspaper.
I don't want to seem ungrateful, but couldn't I write about something else? My style's more observational than, talking to people. I don't know that that's really my strong suit.
We're talking, aren't we? If you want to write for this paper, you're simply going to have to stretch yourself beyond what you might be accustomed to. Besides, it's not as if you have to say anything particularly brilliant. Just get your subject talking and take notes. Finish this assignment and maybe the next one will be more to your liking.
I'd best be on my way.
Right you are. Wait a minute.
What?
It's just come to me. I know why you look familiar. You're Spitfire Harley.
Goodness. It's been a long time since anyone called me that.
I saw you fighting back in 26 at Wellesley Hall in the Chum.
Okay, so if it's 1850, that's 24 years ago, and we were a prize fighter, so... Okay.
You took out a brute twice your size with a right hook. Pow! It was like watching David bring down Goliath.
I appreciate the kind words, but that was another life.
Maybe so. But for a 14-year-old kid fresh off the boat, it was pretty damn inspirational.
Thanks, Joan. Appreciate it.
Of course. And please call me Joni.
Interesting, a diary updated. Officer Rosewater town does not look like lack for liveliness. When I was flattered by a new Spanish fellow from the window, but could knock me down. We were further when Johnny pointed out to me right straight in the so and called me a name I haven't heard in a long time. Spitfire Harley. It's been 15 years since I boxed under that moniker back in the Chum. But I believe or not, Jonah was there to see it and then moreover to remember. I suppose I made impress him somehow, and that's only in some poor bastard's face with my fist. But I got up, but I got what I came here for. The arrangement is not yet permanent, but I've had my first assignment. Okay. Interesting. Few things around here. Let's have a look.
Fascinating device.
Isn't it just? To think, I can send messages from here to Bright Bay with the press of a lever.
What will they think of next? Hey, that's Devil's Tooth. I passed it on the train right here.
Quite a sight, isn't it?
The New Bretagne Gazette. Keeping tabs on the competition?
Hardly. I kept that issue because they mentioned my paper.
You support Leroy?
I'm a proud Labourite, sure. I'll admit he hasn't been my favourite PM. But the way things were going with Atwood and the Tradists, this place would have been swallowed up by an automated newspaper conglomerate. Labour Party gets me vote any day of the week.
Fair enough. Is this the first edition of the Rosewater Post?
Yep, March 30th, 1845. One of the best days of my life.
That's quite a stick.
A memento from my grandfather, back in County Donegal. Comes in handy now and again. No time to waste gabbing, Leger. Get out there and write.
Okay. So we've had a look at everything.
I hope fixing that window won't be too expensive.
I may just leave it for a while. I'm enjoying the breeze.
Nice typewriter.
The first. Good old Sheldon Model 4.
Okay, so we've looked at everything. Out we go.
See you later, Joni.
Take care of yourself out there. Spitfire Harley, writing for my paper. Now don't that just beat all?
Excuse me?
I'd love to chat, Miss Leger, but I'm a bit occupied at the moment.
Don't let me distract you.
Okay, so just I tell out the door. These episodes are going to be about an hour long, just so we can make good progress in the game.
Was your meeting satisfactory, ma'am?
Quite so. Did you find any of those butterscotch sweets I asked for?
Afraid not. Only taffy and some peppermints.
Pity. This place seems to lack even the smallest of pleasures. Shall we?
Let's have a look.
Shabby, but I've been to worse. Horse pills? Is that pills for horses or pills made from horses? Or both? Wonder if the whiskey here is any better than the rotgut back in Pierre. Looks like it's been up for ages. Wonder if they ever caught the guy. Or maybe he retired from crime. Or died of old age.
It's 1825, so it's been around for 25 years.
These seem to be for decoration more than anything else. Food delivery for the lazy. Warning, watch the dang door. Signed, management.
So there's a few things we can interact with.
Now that is mighty tempting. Scenes from the wild country. A night campfire, a wild horse, and a bear in the mountains. Sure would be something to see all that up close and personal. Except maybe the bear. The local populace getting sloshed. I bet that piano hasn't been tuned since the De Leon administration. She's making the best of it, though. The local populace getting sloshed. Someone's hunting trophy. The local
Okay.
Excuse me, kid. I need to get upstairs.
I'm really sorry, miss, but Mr. Ackerman's not taking any more meetings right now.
I'm here on behalf of the Rosewater Post.
Did you make an appointment?
No, I just got the assignment.
Okay, look. Mr. Ackerman's upstairs getting ready for his show. It starts in less than an hour. Why don't you come by and watch? You can come meet him afterwards.
I just need to interview him for a newspaper article.
Well now, that's perfect. If you're going to write about him, you should definitely see the show. Trust me, he's a real dazzler.
Suppose it beats waiting around here.
You won't let us pass, so we need to either find a way past him or get to the show. Okay.
Business seems slow today. Probably a good thing.
Okay.
Never heard of this one. Betrayal, murder, revenge, classic stuff. Never works out that way in real life. This place is falling apart, but these stone tiles were nice. Once.
So we've got a letter, a newspaper, and a stone tile. Okay.
For 20 coppers, it had better be one hell of a show. Dr. Bennett Clark, Master of Ethericity. Oh, right, the Ethericity fellow. I didn't know he was working out here. You again?
Oh, hey, Harmony, was it?
Harley. What in the ether are you doing here?
Oh, you're not still sore about earlier.
No, I think I taught your friend a lesson.
Nah, but your little friend might think twice about hoodwinking strangers again.
Look, nothing personal. My brother and me are just doing our best to get by.
Your brother? And you just strolled away? I ought to knock you into a cocked hat.
Hey, you gotta look out for number one.
You picked the wrong mark, but I can let that go. Hell, with a little effort, you two could be halfway decent grifters. But if there's one thing turns my stomach, it's disloyalty. That's your flesh and blood. If you don't have your own brothers back, who else on this wretched earth is going to give a flip if you're alive or dead?
You made your point. Now, can we drop it already? I'm trying to do an actual legitimate job here.
Legitimate job? So you're not selling snake oil or stock tips or fire insurance?
Nah, nothing like that. I'm selling tickets to Gentleman Jake's legendary Wild West show. Only 20 coppers.
I'll take one of those tickets.
Swell! And when would you like to come see the show?
Whenever it starts?
Oh, you mean today? Oh, well, I'm afraid I gotta disappoint you there. Sold the last of today's tickets not 10 minutes before you walked up.
Seriously?
Seriously. This ain't exactly the Coliseum. It only fits so many. And folks around here are real excited to see Gentleman Jake in person.
All right, look. I don't need to see some yahoo firing off his pea shooter. I just want to talk to this Jake fellow.
And I'm sure Gentleman Jake would be happy to meet you, if you had a ticket to get in. Course, I might be able to sneak you in quiet-like, but I'd be putting my job on the line. And I can't afford to lose it now. After all, I have my little brother to look after.
Just tell me what you want.
Only a small favor.
Spit it out.
Just help me retrieve something. A small item of great personal value. It's only my pa's pocket watch. Family heirloom, you see.
What happened to it?
It was stolen is what? By that one-eyed scalawag Lola Johnson. Probably stashed it away in the old smithy. She's been squatting in there for weeks now.
You said you and your brother needed money. How about 2 crowns?
Well, now, that's mighty kind of you. But this don't change the deal.
Why, you little bastard.
You want in, you gotta do me that favor.
Where'd your brother get to? Keeping out of trouble?
Matter of fact, he's trying to make good after that screw-up earlier. Decided he's gonna try and get Pa's watch back all by himself. He's real tore up over losing it.
If he's doing it, then what do you need me for?
Why, it's clear he ain't cut out for the job. I tried talking sense into him, but he's dead set on it. Wants to prove himself. But he'll be in real hot water if he gets caught, which he probably will. That's why I'm asking you to do it before he goes and does something stupid. I can tell you could pull it off, no problem.
If this Lola stole from you, why not report it to the sheriff?
Oh, come on. I thought you was sharp. That lazy tyrant would cuff my brother and me soon as look at us. It's just the two of us. Me and him against the world. We got no one else to turn to. So, will you help us out?
That kid deserves better than getting strung up for doing your dirty work. Call him off. I'll handle it.
Swell. You know where to find me.
Okay, so what does our diary now say? Okay, his brother outside Rosewater Opera has his brother with that jelly-fingered baby was no random tally along, but Jim's brother, his own blood, and the question just ditched him for the instant he took die scene. That level of meanness is even I can't comprehend. You have to look out for your little brother who keeps him safe, whatever it takes. For further admittance, I've reluctantly agreed to undertake the matter of a light burglary of Jim's behalf. He implores me to recover from the one-eyed scallywag of Lola Johnson, evidently a drifter or transient for some persuasion, a stolen pocket watch once belonging to her boy's father. He let it slip that if I refused the deed, his little brother would attempt it himself with hopes of making good his earlier blunder. Okay, so yeah, we need to save the kid before the kid gets himself strung up.
This padlock's not going anywhere. Not without encouragement. Too bad I didn't bring my lockpicks. Or a hammer.
We've got... Smashed rotten wood.
That did it. Tile's no good anymore, though.
Let's try that. Good.
That could be a good spot to stash something. Emptier than that fool Jem's head. Maybe the kid's watch is in there. Absolutely nothing. Guess the devil won't be coming in here. The smithy's cold furnace. Well now, what have we here? Got what I came for. Best not to stick around.
What in the ether is going on here?
Let's go with that one.
You must be Lola Johnson.
That's right. Lola Johnson, who lives here.
You're a squatter.
You live here, do you? Technically, I think the word you're looking for is squatting.
And technically, what you're doing is trespassing.
I'll be going.
You do that.
Okay. Outside the abandoned smithy, breaking into Smith and finding the article of travel was driven matter than I lingered too long, got myself caught. Miss Johnson is a formidable woman, no fool. I think I played it off, though I doubt she would be running to the surf at any event. But a hassle, it better not be one hell of a show.
Fancy. Too bad there doesn't seem to be a pawn shop in town.
Okay, let's tan in the watch.
Hey, kid.
Yeah?
Here's your watch back.
No fooling. You actually got it?
By a whisker. Lola turned up just as I was leaving.
Did she see you take it?
Don't think so. Anyways, that's my part of the bargain held up. You gonna let me in now?
Sure, go on. Oh, and thanks. I know we've had our tiffs, but I really do appreciate you getting this for me. My dear departed pa can rest easy again knowing his watch is back where it belongs.
That's not your watch at all, is it?
Well, it is now.
Kid, if I were you, I'd make myself scarce. Otherwise, the only way you'll be able to tell the time on that thing is by squatting over a mirror. You get me?
Yes, ma'am.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, are you ready
for some thrills? Are you ready for some excitement? Are you ready for some fun? Without further ado, now present the star of our show. The last man standing at the Bleachbone Gulch Showdown. The only man to defeat Bastard Billy Boakes in a duel. The man who discovered a gentleman, then gifted it to an orphanage. Gentleman Jake Ackerman! Yahoo!
Thank you, Charlie, for that wonderful introduction. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Gentleman Jake's Wild West. We got a heck of a performance for you today, but first, allow me to introduce my brave and loyal assistant, Danny Luo. Now let's get this show on the road. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you rope a steer. Keep it going, Danny. Maybe you'll lasso yourself one someday.
The sun beat down upon them as the duelists stood and stared. But Billy Boakes had never fought somebody so prepared. Jake drew his gun, and bang! The bastard crashed down with a thud. The legendary foe lay dead, defeated, in the mud.
And now for a most challenging proposition, perhaps the greatest feat of marksmanship to which a man can set his sights. You see those 5 juggling balls that Charlie keeps whirling aloft in such a dizzying display? Ladies and gentlemen, fix your eyes on that green ball in particular, and do not dare blink. For with but a single bullet, I will pluck it from the very air. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our show. Thank you all so much. You've been a truly magnanimous, magnificent, and majestic audience.
And you can take home a piece of the legend. Come on down to the Check of Diamonds to get an autograph or a souvenir ferrotype. We'll be there until last call. Stop by and shake hands with Gentleman Jake.
Ladies and gentlemen, good night.
And that, folks, is where we're going to end it for the day as we go off to interview Gentleman Jake for the Rosewater newspaper. I've been Cornish-Knight. This has been Rosewater, and I shall see you all again next time. Goodbye.